Hey, everybody, really excited for this conversation today with UiPath and their vision and mission and an update. Kelly at UiPath, how are you?
I'm very well, thank you. Thank you for having me today here, Evan.
Well, good to see you. Good to have you here. Really excited to dive into all things AI, automation, and beyond. Before that, maybe introduce yourself, your role at UiPath, and your team's mission.
Sure, thank you so much. My name is Kelly DeCourty, as I said, and I've been at UiPath just over a year now as Chief Customer Officer. And even though it's called Chief Customer Officer, I actually look after everything customer and partner. So, looking after the customer operations for our organization, whether it be support, professional services, or customer success, leading the partner organization across the global systems integrators and our regional partners as well, and many other things in between, like operations, our vertical capabilities, value engineering, and much more. So, super excited to be here and join you today for this podcast and video.
Oh, what an exciting role, exciting opportunity and challenge at UiPath. Maybe I'm curious, you have an amazing background. If you could share a little bit about your background with Google and HP Enterprise and others that kind of led you into this role.
Yeah, sure. I grew up, as I like to put it, in Hewlett Packard and then Hewlett Packard Enterprise. So I was there for some 22 years overall, doing a variety of roles, everything from being a solution architect to running large customer transformations, running large customer sales and business development, as well as global accounts. So I literally sort of came up through the ranks and did every role. Spent most of my time in the Europe, Middle East, and Africa, living in a variety of places. And then I moved to the US in 2016 to take over all of the global sales functions. And I found myself joining Google Cloud in 2019. And I was part of the team that sort of took Google Cloud from about $7 billion in revenue to almost 30 billion by the time I left, along with my good friend Rob Enslin, and he was the one who sort of enticed me over to UiPath. But obviously, I was keenly aware of the AI and capabilities that UiPath had, and a little bit before its time in many ways, and sort of coming into our own now. That people are getting much more attuned to how AI can help them going about doing their business.
Indeed, what an exciting time to be in the industry and at UiPath. So give us a state of the union. What's your take on the current landscape of AI and automation in business, your key expertise and focus, and how and why has AI become such a critical part of business strategy across the board?
Yeah. Things have moved really quickly because I even remember the year that I left Google. Obviously Google had been working on AI for a long time, but it wasn't something that we were really monetizing and taking to market, or even frankly having deep conversations with our customers about. So I think the real change in terms of bringing it into the mindset of everybody was obviously led by OpenAI and making those models available to the masses. So it became a topic for everybody. And
Mm.
we've been working with both Bain and McKinsey, and they've done a lot of studies in terms of how many people are dabbling versus how many people are actually utilizing AI at scale. And I think there's still a long way to go. In terms of people maybe talking about it, people maybe having projects of which there are thousands out there, and then actually those customers who have implemented it in their environment at scale. The main reasons why people would want to leverage AI in their business would be a variety of things, from sort of personalized customer experience to operational efficiencies that people can gain to enhanced decision making by having access to more data and more models, and of course cost reduction can be a byproduct, but I think more importantly it's about maybe taking some of the items that could be done more efficiently and allowing people to focus their expertise and skills in other parts of the business, thereby freeing up some capacity to invest in other areas.
Oh, really well said. Let's talk about automation's role. You know a lot about that at UiPath, having invented the RPA category, and now you're doing so much more. So, how do you see automation assisting, supporting this idea of AI implementation in organizations? And of course, when you add automation and AI, there are a whole slew of additional benefits and cost reductions and improvements to business process. How do you see these two interplay?
Yeah, so I think we've sort of coined the phrase, if AI is the brain, automation is the body.
Mm.
So we see them going very much hand in hand, and actually automation allows the business benefits of AI in many ways to be realized within inside an enterprise, because it's really taking the last mile actions. And obviously, here at UiPath, we have the capability to have human in the loop as well to do some checking. We've developed a lot of specialized models that are very specific to certain tasks. For example, in our intelligent document processing category, we've got models that that people can kind of take out of the box and start working with for common tasks like, you know, filling and transcribing documents and so on, that we can then adapt to specific companies or categories. So we definitely feel
Mm.
that they're complementary. They go hand in hand. We're actually working with many of the AI providers out there with the large language models, whether it be Amazon, Anthropic, obviously Microsoft, and Google. But as I said, we've also got our own specialized models that have been trained and built on the types of tasks that we've been doing for our customers, whether that be in back office automation or processing large amounts of documents in the medical space or in the public
Wow.
sector as well, hugely strong. So those are some of the things that we've seen overall in the marketplace. And we really feel that automation is changing the way people work. Again, like I said before, freeing up a lot of capacity for people to focus more on how to innovate, how to differentiate against their competition and so on, and not being dragged into so many repetitive tasks. And I should also point out as well that can really assist in quality and quality controls as well, because there's that much
Mm.
more checking that can be done at scale with a system as well, where humans can often as well have errors, as we all know. So you've kind of got the benefits of both sides of the automation, but then also the human in the loop capabilities for some level of checking.
Oh, fantastic opportunity. And as Chief Customer Officer at UiPath, you're accustomed to talking business value with the C-suite within customers. What are you hearing from them as far as AI-powered automation impacting real business results, the ROI that they're asking or demanding of your solution? What sort of conversations are happening there?
Yeah, good question. I mean, depending on the customer, we can have anywhere between sort of 3 times and 8 times
Mm.
payback in terms of the types of solutions that we're delivering. So we do have some very happy customers out there who have invested what are not huge amounts of money necessarily, that can drive really tremendous incremental results and savings. So from just a cost basis, it's very, very interesting. But there's a lot more to it than that. We've really realized that we're able to deliver for our customers increased job satisfaction in some areas, because
Mm.
we're removing the need to get involved in all of those manual tasks and allow people to do more interesting work. The ability to combat at times burnout of people as well, particularly in businesses that maybe have not been able to add capabilities or people to continue to keep up with the tasks that we have. So it improves decision making and quality of decision making as well, because there's access to more data, and obviously can improve productivity. For sure. And we're using it within our own business. We use it for the way that we look after support, making sure that we're answering quickly on the support tickets, and making sure that we're mining data to understand what might be the next thing. we're also using it in like approval flows and things like that to make things work faster. So we are a user of our own products and solutions on a day-to-day basis. So we see the gains ourselves as well, which is really rewarding.
Yeah, that must be. At the last UiPath Forward event, I heard so many success stories and case studies, illustrations of, using automation to unlock AI's real value. Do you care to call out any of those? I heard case studies from Cathay Pacific and British Airways and Intel and on and on and on, really blue chip companies there. Uh, Care to pick any favorite children as far as customers or partners go here?
Yeah, I mean, they're all favorite children, but just calling out a couple that you mentioned. So, Cathay Pacific, for example, needed to innovate across the business. They were wanting to streamline their operations, keeping flights on schedule, which we all want, of course, and keeping staff morale high as well. So, they focused on paper-based processes and working on automating those, including document validation as well. So they were able to automate multiple processes across finance, operations, and customer support. Virtual workers were there to simplify compliance, resolving customers' claims, ensuring correct passenger meals, and much more. So that is the example from Cathay Pacific. And staying on the topic of airways as well, as you rightly said, we are also working with my outside of work favorite, just because I am British and I feel like getting on the plane with British Airways always feels a little bit like going home. But they were experiencing an increase in customer claims that they were handling manually. And they were taking about 25 minutes to process. And I can attest to this myself when I've called up sometimes to resolve something. So we were able to work with a partner and them to deploy intelligent document processing to transform their claims process, and all within the compliance of the European Union as well. So the time to resolve the cases dropped by about 96%, which
Wow.
is just incredible in terms of, an outcome, and also saved them quite some money as well. So that for sure is really exciting. But we don't just work with airlines. I don't want everyone to go away thinking we just work with airlines. As I said, we are very present in financial services, in the public sector, and in healthcare. But in the technology space, we also worked with Intel and their international trade group, who wanted to ensure compliance and increase their operational efficiency. So they applied AI-powered automation to the trade compliance process. And the process had historically required many hours of manual processing time, but we were able to apply AI-powered automation to that process and classify more than 56,000 products for them in just 4 months. So it was really a meaningful outcome for
Wow.
them in terms of their trade and regulatory compliance, things that they would have otherwise had to do manually that they were able to do with the system. And this reduced the manual hours by about 85%, and the accuracy was at 99%. So some really huge benefits for them as well.
Fantastic. What a great example of companies leaning in to leveraging automation and AI. What about those companies who maybe haven't yet embarked on this journey or sort of might feel they're behind? Any advice to catching up, to getting started? What should they keep in mind for success?
Yeah, I don't always think that you have to start with something huge as
Mm,
well. So for companies, I think sometimes people are afraid to get started because they feel that they have to do, a massive transformation. We
mm,
can start these transformations in a number of areas. I was with a customer um, just last week, and we're focused. We sort of identified three processes that we wanted to go after, but given that they were very short on resources on their side, we said, you know what, let's go after one. Let's go after the first one. It was testing, actually, testing for Salesforce, which they do manually right now. Let's go after testing for Salesforce. Let's free you up some capacity so that your life is not as stressful. And then from there, we can kind of move on and we can work on the next one and we can work incrementally as we go. So we're happy to work with our customers in whatever way that they want to. We also have a professional services arm. We have thousands of partners who are out there willing to help as well. So I think, just feel free to pick up the phone and we'd be happy with our network of partners to get started with each of these potential customers.
Wonderful. Just get started, but you couldn't find better advice. What are the typical implementation challenges you see, the roadblocks and hurdles and silos that need to be torn down when implementing AI and automation? What have you seen firsthand?
So I think that generally people want to automate a bad process, and we can do that. So we can automate processes even if they're not good. But with our process mining, it can be quite helpful to understand where are the bottlenecks in the process. Are there areas that we could optimize as well as automating? And so I think that's just something that customers should consider. And now that we've got it all built into the platform, it makes it really easy to take that second step. So that is something that is definitely worth considering.
Yeah, great advice. More strategies at UiPath Forward, I am sure I'll see. And as Chief Customer Officer, what is your philosophy or approach when it comes to customer centricity? What does that really mean to you? Having been at UiPath for a year, what sort of strategies do you see yourself delivering to, continuously deliver value and value add to partners and customers?
Yeah, so I think the main thing is that we want the customer to have a delightful experience at every step of their interaction with us, whether that be on our website, whether that be the first call or the first meeting with part of our team, whether that be the implementation either by us or with a partner, and then the ongoing follow-up and governance. So that is where we've been working pretty strongly to try and streamline our overall customer journey, make sure that we don't think of ourselves in terms of how we operate internally, but really put ourselves in the shoes of the customer and how they experience us. So obviously that's always a journey, but totally top of my mind in terms of an outcome that I want to make sure that we have customers who love us, who are going to endorse us, and who want to continue to grow with us.
Wonderful sentiment. So this isn't particularly a technical deep dive, but there's so much on our roadmap and our plate as an industry in terms of the future of AI and automation. Any thoughts that are particularly exciting for you when you look forward, pun intended, towards your roadmap and technology outlook? What are you really intrigued by over the next year or two?
So I'm really excited with some of the partnerships that we are doing. We're heavily partnered with SAP. I think everybody's seen that in the market and kind of watch this space for some of our next steps together. We have been working strongly with the global systems integrators to make sure that they have practices built around us as well, so that they can enhance the customer's experience around AI and automation. But I do really want to encourage people to really take a look at us today compared with even where we came from. I mean, you're right, we did create the RPA category, but we've come a long way since then. And I think a lot of people are still missing out on understanding the full breadth and spectrum of our products and our platform, whether it be the testing capabilities we have, whether it be the intelligent document processing or document understanding, whether it be the communication mining and so on. So I think inherent on us to do a better job of making sure that everybody's staying abreast with everything we've got to offer. But I think there's a lot more to what we have to offer now than even what we had in the past, and a lot of companies who are taking the benefit of that. So again, pick up the phone if people want to know more. We'll be delighted to host customers in our executive briefing centers around the world.
Wonderful opportunity. Well, thanks so much for joining us. What about you personally? Any travel or meetings or events coming up? Any travel on Cathay Pacific or British Airways? Anywhere interesting?
I'm going on British Airways next week, which I'm so excited about. So yeah, a lot of travel coming up. A lot of UiPath are heading to Europe over the next few weeks. We've got some customer events, some internal events as well. So we're hopping across the pond, but always on the move over here. So excited to see many of our customers at Forward later in the year, and hopefully yourself as well, Evan.
I will be there. It would be my third Forwards. Can't wait for that. Thanks so much for just the update and the insights. Congratulations on this journey. Super exciting, and I can't wait to see what's next.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, Kelly. And take care, everyone. And always, reach out to UiPath, their channels, and also their website just is so much great content, so educational as well. Encourage everyone to check it out. Thanks, Kelly.